Welcome everybody to the brand new season of Vikings football. Preseason game 1 against the Jets. New coaching staff, new players. It's going to be a fun new year, and we are about to take a look at the new squad starting here in the 2023 season, preseason that is, with Young Ho Koo kicking off as our new kicker. Going to be a fun new year here for us. Going to see some new corners, an all new, basically a completely overhauled cornerback team. Definitely going to also be seeing a rookie quarterback taking the field when our offense sees the field. But it's time to see what improvements we were able to do and actually have a winning season this year for the Vikings. First play of the game is a run down the middle. Melvin Gordon, new player for the Jets, swallowed up by our defensive tackles. This year we're switching up the scheme quite a bit. Normally, or in previous seasons with Mike Zimmer as the head coach, we ran a little bit more of a man cover scheme. This year we're switching up, going a little bit more zone, trying to help out, make sure that we have guys covering the entire field, less spots open, and ensure that we are able to stuff the run. Of course, one good thing that Michael Zimmer did bring to this team is the double A gap blitz here, so that will continue. Of course, we're not able to get the first down there, but your new free safety, McCourty, coming down for the stop. They did get the first down, though, but nice to see him making some plays early on. Big hit there. Eric Kendrick still going to be the main guy leading the way here. Harrison Smith, also another big guy down there making the tackle at the line of scrimmage. And one thing we really want to see this year is a little bit more energy, a little bit more excitement. Start that off with Harrison Smith with a little celebration there. A little bit of a weird, I don't know if you'd really call it a trick play. It's more like a double jet reverse, but kind of going in the same direction, so not quite sure what they were planning on there. Didn't end up working out for them. We have Wilson here in his second year. Some good blocking on that play for the Jets, but Melvin did not really know where to go. Don't know if you blame Melvin or if you blame Madden on that one. Cameron Dantzler in the backfield to help secure that loss there, make it a 3rd and long. Now, I was saying earlier that we will be running a little bit more of a zone scheme. Doesn't mean that we're not going to be running any man plays like we do a lot with the double A gap blitz. That is often going to be some man coverage there, which our new set of corners that we have here could definitely help secure that. I definitely switched there to go to play Daniil to try to get the sack and then ended up leaving. I believe that was more wide open, but Wilson luckily overthrew that. And that's going to be the first forced punt here for the Vikings defense. Got Nwangwu as the kick returner this year as well. He ends up fighting for a couple yards there. Always love a good return game that actually fights for yards. Definitely will be coming out in quite a bit of double tight end sets this year, as we were able to pick up Flanagan in the 3rd round of the draft. Really excited to see what he could bring. First pass for the rookie quarterback is to Jefferson for a huge gain. Simple slant route there, but ended up getting wide open. Nice first play there for Saunders. Take a look here at our offensive line. Looks like the left side of the line is going to be the strongest, at least in this game. And that's the one side of the offensive line that might see an upgrade, where we were able to draft Smith, who was a center. I believe it was the 3rd round that we picked him up as well. Might have been late 2nd. Picked him up, and he ends up being a 75 overall. So we'll challenge Ezra Cleveland for his left guard spot. Possibly in the future also move back to center, but we'll end up seeing what happens there. Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. Simple dump off, but nice simple completions for the young rookie here. We will be having, as you see here, Adam Thielen over in the slot this year. Going to have Jefferson and DJ Chark playing on the outside. First, DJ Chark not able to make a play on the pass there. May ends up with the interception. Not sure you could really blame that on Saunders there. Definitely would like to see Chark make a bit of a play there. It's one-on-one. You have good positioning, and he just doesn't catch it. May somehow is able to get that away from Chark there. Bit disappointing for the first drive. Of course, with the Vikings, you don't want to let up. You definitely want to make sure that you keep the momentum going and be running to the outside here. Great blocking, able to seal the edge. Definitely want to make sure that that is not something that continues into the regular season. We do have a new right end, especially when we are playing down in the 4-3 with Ibakam as the not three down, but base cover, base formation left end. When we go into edge or rush, pass rush situations, Wanham will be coming in to play that right end spot. Going to be splitting up that position this year, just because I don't believe that Wanham really has the run-stopping ability. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to secure that. Don't want to have teams running all over us. So we were able to do that by upgrading a bit there. There's former Vikings player Conklin making the catch there. Considered bringing him back, but I think it was well worth not bringing him back, considering Flanagan that we were able to pick up. And also picked up a second tight end in the draft as well. Who's a little bit more of a run blocker, so not going to be missing out there at all. Anthony Barr we did end up bringing back, and that is not good for the Vikings. Brian Poole injured in the first preseason game. Hopefully it is nothing serious. Really can't afford to be missing out. He is looking like he's going to the locker room for some sort of wrist injury. Can't afford to be missing him very much. We are not very strong in depth at the cornerback position. Struggling here a little bit early on in the run game. And there's an update on Poole. Looks like a bruised sternum. Not sure why he was grabbing his wrist there. But it looks like he won't be back for this game, but isn't going to be a long-term injury, which is going to be good for us. We will give some of the young guys some play time in the preseason, but definitely don't want injuries in the cornerback class here. We did bring back Eric Wilson, who you just saw there make the tackle. Going to be one of our, again, base formation guys. Currently, we will have Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr as our cover backers. Basically, your third down sub linebackers are going to be Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks. Normally have done pretty well in the past. Kendricks has always been a reliable guy out there. Anthony Barr, a little bit hit or miss. But with the first quarter over with, we're going to see a bit more of the younger guys. Awful first play for the younger guys. That is Jones just taken off all the way to the end zone. Not a good look for them. Following that long run and the good extra point, we will be receiving the ball. Amir Smith-Marset back for the return there. Just calls for the fair catch. We will see Saunders continue here into the second quarter. Want to give him more than just one series out there. Going to toss it up to Osborne, and he's going to make a play on his first appearance out there. I was wanting to make sure that Osborne continues to get some reps, but also wanted to make sure we had an upgrade too out at the receiving core. We were pretty thin, and when I saw that DJ Chark didn't have any offers out there, I wanted to make sure we were able to get potentially really good candidate there. Alexander Madison just dominating down that sideline. Olabisi Johnson shaking up a bit on that play. He's one of our lower depth receivers, so not going to be a huge hit there, but definitely hope that it is a quick recovery and nothing too bad there for him, especially preseason, where he's going to be getting a lot of his reps. And Flanagan does not get his first catch opportunity there. Basically was just laying on top of him, but wasn't able to grab it. Looks like Saunders has already been giving a bit of an opportunity to make some play call adjustments as well. Nice check down there to Madison, gets the first down, runs through a couple guys there as well. Really like the play that Madison has. I believe this is his contract year. Would be a fantastic option to keep the duo of Cook and Madison together. We'll see how much that ends up costing, especially with us needing to make more upgrades, especially on the defensive side for longevity. We brought in a few guys, but most of them are going to be more of your 1 year, maybe 2 year stopgap type of players. Incomplete. Nice route option there. Just wasn't able to get quite the separation needed with that throw to Amir Smith Marset. You can see that Saunders is taking a look at his receivers, seeing what his best options are. Looks like Nwangwu is actually outplaying. Oh, nice touch there, but just not able to get the catch. But like I was saying, that was Nwangwu that was out at the outside receiver spot. It looks like the Vikings are coming out to go for it on 4th down. It's the preseason, why not? We still have Nwangwu out at receiver. Looks like they're going to send him in motion, look for the jet sweep here, get his speed out on the edge. He's not able to get the first down. They'll try to get a bit fancy there, cut back inside, but nice stop there by the cornerback for the Jets. Looks like Te'amu is going to come in for the Jets, lead them into the second half and probably beyond. Normally don't see much besides the 1 and 2 guys here during preseason. Ronald Jones running pretty well, though, on his carries. Looks like they're going to come out spread. You got Conley making some adjustments along the front here. Nice stop. Looks like Kendricks is going to continue playing into this half just due to the lack of depth, really, that there is at the Minnesota Vikings linebacking core. Do want to probably switch him out after the first half just to avoid injury. Got a nice completion over the middle there for Te'amu. It's like it was completed to Sternberger is what it looked like there. We do need to get a look too at the depth rush. We have Robinson playing over at the left end spot, and he just comes firing through there. No one picked him up. Luckily they had a underneath route. Te'amu was able to get that pass off before giving up the sack, but good to see a little rush happening here. So another run and just destroyed over on the left, and really no run stop there. I believe that is Robinson that is playing currently over at the right end spot. Oh, it might be Wanham playing over there, at least in the 4-3 formation. That is where Wanham is playing right now. Nice pass breakup there. Bring it to 4th and 4. Force that punt and try to go down and score before the end of this quarter. You have Smith Marset back here for the return. If he had a little bit more acceleration and speed, there was a lane cut between the Gunners and the rest of the pack, but he wasn't quite able to hit that hole quick enough. See the Vikings come out here with Trips to the left, Flanagan's to the right. Oh, Osborne! Fantastic one-hand catch, one play to the house. Fantastic route combination there, pretty good throw. Maybe would have liked to see him kind of let a little bit more open there, but fantastic play for the young quarterback, third-year receiver who had a pretty good season last year as well. You can see Saunders just lofted that up just past where the corner could make a play on it. You see he was very close. Maybe if he extended that arm a little bit, might have got a hand on there. But that is a fantastic deep pass attack that you really didn't see a whole lot of last year. And when you did, Kirk Cousins really didn't like it for some reason. But we will take that all day. Young Hoku with the extra point to tie this game up 7-7, 3 minutes before half. This crowd is excited for preseason football, of course, after waiting so long. Seeing preseason, the moves made. Looks like the Jets did make some fun moves. They brought in Conklin, who's a great tight end. They brought in Melvin Gordon. So they got a couple of guys here, a couple young guys as well. Looks like they should have a fun season, seeing how well that team has progressed. But of course, we're more worried about the Minnesota Vikings, making sure that we end up actually having a good season this year, a winning season. Great stop in the backfield by Conley. Fought off the block. Let's celebrate over the man. Slow clap. Gotta love it. Definitely need to bring in a bit more excitement, a bit more energy this year. So you will definitely see a lot more celebrations this year than last year. Definitely need to bring back that duck, gray duck. Madden, if we could get that in the game, that would be fantastic. dump it off to the flats. Nice tackle there by Dantzler. Also had Metellus over there, but he did not care to make a play on that at all. He just stood there while Dantzler was getting the tackle. That brings us to the 2-minute warning. Tied 7-7 here at MetLife Stadium. Definitely would like to make this stop here and get the ball before half. Try to make a play. Looks like the Vikings are coming out in their famous double A gap. Good pickup by the running back there on the block, but Robinson just kept fighting and got that sack. Nice to see there. Just fought right through Ronald Jones. Gets a hand around the quarterback, and Teami wasn't going anywhere there. And here comes Saunders out after a fantastic drive. I believe it was one pass play, the Osborne. You can see that they did not elect to use a timeout at the end of that third down play last time. Flanagan coming in with a fantastic catch. But yeah, they didn't opt to use that timeout. Kind of let the clock drain a little bit. Only took, honestly didn't even take a timeout, but got a really nice return by Smith-Marset. Fantastic grab, but they say out of bounds by Osborne. He needs to make sure he gets his feet in. Otherwise, that is ESPN highlight reel of a play right there. You know, they have elected to not use any timeouts left. They still have 3 with about 37 seconds left before the end of the half. And what a fantastic play there by the corner, jumping over the block to make the tackle. Otherwise, there's going to be open space for a very fast, speedy Nwangwu. Oh, another play, very close, but not quite good enough there to Osborne. If it was placed maybe a yard or two further towards the sideline, you might have seen a good completion there. But we'll bring out the field goal team. See how we do in a wet condition here. Pretty long kick, but right down the middle. Something you're never quite sure if the Vikings are going to do. But that kick is good, putting us ahead 10-7 just before halftime. Here come the Jets, following a pretty decent return there on the kick. Looks like they're going to be spurting that ball out, trying to get downfield. Need to watch the sidelines. You can see the first play, that's where they head. A quick out route to their tight end. Able to catch it, but we were able to get them down in bounds, make them use their first timeout. You can see an adjustment already being made. Typically, you don't see that very often in the early preseason games, but this team has been around for a while. Safety completely whiffs on the tackle. Now it looks like the Jets are in scoring range here. They still have a timeout left. Looks like they will be opting for the field goal. At least that is who they're sending out onto the field right now. That kick is up, and it is good. 1 second left before halftime. We are now tied 10-10. Barring any sort of miracle right here, the game will be tied going into half. Looks like Smith-Marset's going to let that bounce. See what the Vikings are able to come up with 1 second left on the clock. And we saw the Vikings come out in this formation before, and that was on the one-play drive where they hit Osborne going down the sidelines. Not too good of a pass there by Saunders, but there wasn't much open. It looks like that was just a quick pass to go into halftime. And there's your new head coach for the Minnesota Vikings. So far, have seen some improvements. Looks like a little bit more aggression in the passing game, going downfield a bit more. Haven't seen too much of the run game, but that's not something that is of much concern with the Minnesota Vikings. So glad to see a little bit more passing. Definitely need to see some better run stopping here, especially with that long run there from Jones. And what kind of camera work do we have going on here? Oh, that's awful. All right, coming out of halftime, you see Saunders there talking with fellow rookie Lucas. However, I don't think we're going to see much more of Saunders in this game. I know a lot of Vikings fans have wanted to see more of Mund, and he will be the quarterback coming out here for the second half. The game is tied 10-10, basically a brand new half score. You really just say it is 0-0. There really isn't anything separating these two teams right now. And it looks like there is another injury. The Vikings have had several injuries, but that is your rookie guard, it's Smith, who is challenging Ezra Cleveland for one of those starting spots. So it looks like he is going out and Udo has come in instead. A bit of a disappointing start there. Oh, pass deep downfield, overthrown by Munn, going deep for Osborne again. Looks like that might be a continuing pattern that we're going to see with the Vikings, is taking some deep shots to some of their quick guys downfield, but that one thrown a bit too far and is picked off. Not a great start to the half for the Minnesota Vikings. Losing one of their rookie guys. We'll see if we can get an update as to what that injury is, timetable expected there, and then the pick shortly after. Big hit by, or not by Cousins, by Kendricks. Picks up his own forced fumble, scampers a little bit, maybe about 10 yards. There is, however, a flag on the play. He's going to be holding on Patrick Jones, will back us up a little bit. And broken ribs is what we're being told for rookie guard / center Smith. So he will not be back in this game. Very unfortunate there. I know a lot of people are wanting to get a look at him, but he will be back fairly shortly. Typically those could be a few weeks at most, so should be back for the regular season. Great first run there by Nwangwu. Probably the longest run so far of this game. Going to see a lot of him in this second half here. Don't really need to see much of Madison. We know what he can bring. Want to see a lot of Mund and Nwangwu here, and some of our other younger guys as well. Beautiful touch pass there by Mund. Just floated that right there to CJ Ham, who's playing a little bit of tight end there. Typically don't see too much of him playing tight end, but he is a great utility fullback, so not too much of a surprise to see a catch for him. It's a very simple dive play, get a few yards there. Very nice, very nice. Like to see that. Like to see a bit of a variety. We've seen the Vikings come out in double tight ends, in some power, some eye. Also spread out as well, so nice to see a variety coming from the Vikings besides just the strict power run game. We have 3rd and 1. You would like to see the Vikings be able to just push the pile here. Can't really say the push the pile too much there, but Madison was able to extend a bit there and get the ball across the plane. And now, inches from the goal line, they're going to come out spread. Mund is a fast quarterback, and he's going to just jog into the end zone there. No passing touchdown yet for him. Had some pretty decent passes on that drive, but his feet is what carries the team into the end zone, and he's saying he hit that out of the park. Great drive there for the Vikings. 6 plays, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Great way to answer back from that first drive that just was not great, especially with the injury and then the interception right after. But a nice way to make a comeback there. Good seeing Mund make some plays as well. And there's just no one there in the return game. Not until he gets to about the 30-yard line, and Koo is there to make the tackle. And it looks like at middle linebacker we have a substitution. The Erics have switched. Eric Kendricks is now done for the rest of the game, and Eric Wilson is in. Nice job there by 93. I wasn't able to see the back of the jersey there. I believe that is Jones the third. Getting a nice secure spot there on the outside. Yep, that is Jones. Sealed the edge, made the tackle as well. Great play for the young guy. And having both linebackers there as well, but a bit too many yards on that play. Would like to see that limited to maybe a gain of 2. Coming out again in that double A gap look. Doesn't look like they bring anyone extra, but they are able to make a play. No tackling in that cornerback. I believe there was also a safety as the first one there. Poor tackling in the secondary has been very common. Definitely something that we are needing to look at and improve at this year. However, Eric Wilson does make a good play there, spins off the block, gets the run stop, only a gain of 3. Coming out in a spread look. Again, poor tackling. That should have been a gain of nothing, but ends up almost being a first down. Really need to make sure we're getting our tackles secured and not just letting loose on guys that should not be making plays. The Jets are coming out in an empty set. The Vikings bringing a lot of guys down towards the line, and it looks like we might have a roughing the passer play on that. Bit of a late hit there by, I believe it was Robinson. Yep, Janarius Robinson there with the roughing the passer. You like to see a little bit of that aggression, but in preseason, definitely nothing warranted there. Getting penalties isn't going to help you make that final roster spot or even try to see the field a bit more regularly. Nor is not even looking for the pass there by that Jets receiver. Ball just bounces right off of him. Again, staying in that spread look. Still have Ronald Jones out there. And they've really loved getting it to their kind of big body tight end there in the middle. Haven't had a whole bunch of coverage in the middle either. So definitely want to make sure that we work on that when it comes to this offseason. And no one there to cover Ronald Jones Jr. Second touchdown of the game. 1 rushing, 1 receiving. Following the blown coverage and the extra point, the game is again tied 17-17. Smith-Marset receives the kick, takes a knee in the end zone. We'll be starting at the 25. Looks like the Vikings are coming out in a pistol formation. Not something that you see them run too often, really, if at all. Looks like they're poor decision there by Mund. She should throw that out of bounds instead of trying to force it to, I believe that was Nwangwu out there. Ends up being picked off by Quentin Porter. The Jets are now at the 1-yard line. The preseason is made for mistakes, and that was definitely a mistake that can very well come back to haunt them unless they end up making a fantastic stop here. And they most certainly do not. Everyone's blocked up, no one gets off, and Ronald Jones is in for his 3rd touchdown of the game. Here comes the Vikings out again after that quick turnover and 1-play touchdown. We've seen Mund make a couple of mistakes so far in this game. Of course, he doesn't have a lot of experience. He didn't play much at all last year, just about 3 plays in week 17, and that was about it. So he is pretty inexperienced. Going to make sure he gets as much as possible in this preseason just to see what he ends up really being all about. Ends up making a couple of adjustments here. Doesn't see anyone open. He's going to scramble. And doesn't get a nice block out there by Madison. Gain of a couple, better than a turnover, but that is the end of the 3rd quarter. We are seeing the quarterbacks making adjustments already here. It might be simple adjustments that are being made, but adjustments nonetheless, which you typically don't see too often in the early weeks of preseason. But Mund has been here for now. This is his 2nd year, so you would feel that he has a general understanding of the playbook. And there wasn't much adjustments that changed, but throws his 3rd pick. Great adjustment by the corner. Threw a late slant route opposite side of the field. That's really just not something that you can do. Only great quarterbacks get away with that, and he has a long way to go before he could say that he's one of the greats there. A nice pass downfield, deeper than our corner or our linebackers are, and in between our safeties. Good design there. We need to see someone make a play real soon, otherwise this game is going to start slipping away late into this 4th quarter. And Chris Boyd not making the tackle. We've seen awful play by him in the past, so might need to make some upgrades there, especially with Brian Poole getting injured earlier in this game. Might need to add some depth to the corner class here, the corner roster, I should say. But we get bailed out there with a holding by the Jets. Back them up a bit. 1st and 20 from the 24-yard line. We need someone to make a play. Conley was able to get in there, but they were able to get the pass off. It was thrown towards Sternberger, but was overthrown, most likely due to the applied pressure there. He just kind of let it go. They bring receiver down towards the line, and Teamu is sliding, but also kind of not sliding. Kind of brought down by Conley as well. Looks like there was a lineman for the Jets shaken up a bit as well. Didn't look too serious. He was able to walk off under his own power, but looks like he might be holding some part of an arm. Could be maybe chest as well. Vikings out in that double A gap look. Looks like it's going to be a run to the outside, and big hit there by Metellus, the backup safety. He's got a little swag walk going out there. Good hit. Nice to see a big hit by one of our DBs that is not Hitman Smith. Really like to see that there. Has definitely been missing that for the past couple years. Normally you don't see too many of the Vikings defensive backs making big hits like that. Does force the field goal attempt, and it is good. Will extend the lead to 10. And the Vikings are running out of time. Only 5 minutes left in the game. They are currently down 10 points. Need to see someone make a play. And Munn scrambles from the pocket. No one on the left side is able to scamper out of bounds about the 49-yard line. And so far, that's been his best asset this game, has been his feet. We've seen him make some good passes, but haven't been very consistent. Has thrown several interceptions. And there's his fourth. You can see he was trying to get that ball to Flanagan, but the safety was able to see that, come down, and jump the route. I believe that was actually not a safety, cornerback. Rookie Meekins was one of the corners that the Vikings had on their list this preseason or off-season for the draft, but ended up going in a different route. Good for him. Need to see a bit more there from Mund. Would also be curious to see if the Vikings are going to bring out Saunders to finish this game off, see if he has that ability to bring a game back that looks almost lost towards the end. And another open receiver on the outside. Looks like they were running maybe a cover 3, and they were just able to find the gap in the zones there. Also haven't seen too much of a pass rush either so far this game. I know Robinson got in early when he came in the second quarter, but besides that, there hasn't been much else. And a good rush there against Ronald Jones, I think it was the second. He's had a really good game against us so far. Would be a great tandem there for the Jets, having Jones and Melvin Gordon. Oh, and just a step behind. Boyd could have been there to make a play, but he was looking the other direction. And that is another first down for the Jets. Coming out again in the run, and no one is on the backside. Metellus takes an awful angle, and Ronald Jones is in again. At that point, hard to see that there's going to be a comeback, that now being 33, possibly 34-17. Don't think you're going to see Saunders come in at this point. Going to make sure they save him for next week. And Mon takes the field again. Hasn't had really a great game. A lot of turnovers, forced some passes. He's shown that he's able to run, but that is about it. And he misses Madison, who's just wide open. Throws it a bit too far downfield. He's not able to get there, and it's knocked away. So really seeing him struggle a bit in the passing game. Doesn't look like there's going to be much of a quarterback controversy here on the Vikings. Definitely looks like Saunders is their go-to guy. There was a nice play there by Smith Marset. You see him lined up all the way on the outside, and Wongwu's also been playing a bit of receiver today as well. And they go back to Smith Marset, but he looked a bit gassed on that play. He got a good release, but the cornerback quickly recovered there and was able to swat that ball away. You saw right there was a bit of a hold there for Madison. but Udo wasn't able to hold that block long enough. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning. You really just want to see them get into the end zone one more time before the end of this game. Looks like they're going to be coming out in a 4-receiver set. Flanagan's all the way out wide. He does have pretty decent speed, but it doesn't look like Mund is quite comfortable throwing. He ends up scrambling, fumbles it, but kicks the ball out of bounds almost. It might have not been an intentional kick out of bounds, but nonetheless, that is what ends up happening. That does stop the clock for the Vikings, however, so they save a little bit of time there, but they end up going with a run. It might just be to see if they could catch the defense by surprise. Again, another errant throw there by Mund, but Flanagan comes back in and makes the play. He's made quite a few good plays so far in this game. Osborne and Flanagan now switch. And that ends up being floated out of bounds. There was some pressure applied there, and they kind of just got rid of it. Mund has definitely struggled so far in this game. He just flicks that down the field to C.J. Ham, who scrambles, gets the first down, and out of bounds. I would definitely say so far Mund looks like a guy that you can bring in, especially for a trick play, kind of see if... Oh, he does have a guy. Lucas drops it in the end zone. That was your 5th round tight end who had a wide open pass but just could not hang on to it. But as I was saying, Mund looks like a guy he could bring in for some more running situations, make the team, the defense guess a bit on if it's going to actually end up being a pass or if it might even just be a run. I know a few years ago, the first time out there for the Vikings, a few years ago, college football, Oklahoma State, I believe it was about 5 years ago, was the last season that they had Mason Rudolph. That they also had another quarterback who they would bring in running situations, goal line packages, and that could be something similar that you would see here with the Vikings, where they might just give it a try. And 5th interception. You probably should have just had him run there, but he tries to make a play to his receiver. Great interception there. That's going to be about it for the Vikings, and any chance of Mund making a push there for the starting spot. The Jets will just knee this game out securely in hand. Ronald Jones ran all over this team today. Very disappointing there. Need to make sure that gets secured. Of course, these are the backups, so we'll see more in Game 2 of what the starters are actually able to do. And we will jump into that game as well in this video. We're going to do all of the preseason games. Definitely want to make sure we're seeing a bit more of some progression here by the backups. Following that game, we do get an update on injured rookie center Dalton Smith, broken ribs. He is out for 5 weeks. Of course, that does include this week. So he will miss at least the first game of the regular season, maybe the second. But we will keep you guys updated on his progression, so that way we can kind of see if he's going to end up stepping into one of those starting spots or what we end up doing there. Bit disappointing there, but want to make sure he gets healthy for the regular season. And following that game where we saw some poor depth cornerback play, we wanted to take a look at who all was available that was younger, 26 and under. I think here we'll go with Miles Bryant, just add a bit of depth there and help fill out this roster a little bit. And Welcome to week 2 of the preseason. The Miami Dolphins have flown all the way up to Minnesota to US Bank Stadium for the second game. Hopefully going to be much better than the first game against the Jets, where the first team played pretty well, and then the second team just fell flat on their face in the second half. Saunders ended up playing a pretty good game, especially for his first game experience in the NFL. Here he comes, lead the team out here. But his backup, Mund, did not play very well. So he definitely looks like the definite starter going forward here. Excited to see what he can do in this game with a bit more of these starters playing with him for a longer period of time. DJ Chark, one of the new additions, didn't have a fantastic performance in that first game. He will be one of the third receivers that comes out. He'll play on the outside. Thielen will move inside. Good first run there by Dalvin. Definitely want to make sure that we continue to be able to pound the rock. That's what the Vikings do, but we need to make sure we also have a bit of a passing game to help Dalvin out. A little bit overthrown there to Thielen, but it was a safer throw, especially than those that we saw from Mund earlier. Here's the draft class as well. It looks like there was one player missing there, and that was the center/guard who did get injured in week 1 of the preseason. Broke some ribs. He will be out till about the second, maybe third week of the regular season. Saunders does scramble out there, and he finds Thielen, who gets a huge gain there. Some of the best plays we've seen from Saunders so far has been on some slant routes, so that has been fantastic. He definitely has a much better short throw accuracy than anything else, but he does have the ability to stretch the ball downfield as well, which we saw last week. There was a bit more of some deep attack the Vikings really didn't have last year, and a little bit even the year before. We've seen them do some short to medium passing, but that deep has definitely been missing out. Looks like Chark is being covered by Xavier Howard. Not sure you would see Saunders test that too much. And their first drive, he scrambles to the right, hits Jefferson, and there he goes, doing what Jefferson does, dancing after a touchdown. The whole team loves it. The fans love it. One of the players that really brings some excitement to the team. That was a nice scramble, throw the ball down and away where the corner would not be able to make a play on, and only Jefferson could, and that is your first touchdown of the game. Fantastic seeing that, considering what we saw from Mund at the end of last game. Nice different change there. And the field goal also, or not field goal, the extra point is good as well. Leading the Dolphins is still Tua Tagovailoa. I messed that one up. Tua Tagovailoa. He's kind of been questioned a lot his previous years on if he's going to continue to be the starter, if he's the face of the franchise, or what they want to do going forward. But he is still here, going to lead them at least in preseason, and you're hoping that the Vikings defense has as good of a first drive as the offense. Force some plays here, and Danielle Hunter answers that first play sack. I don't even believe we had one in the first game. If we did, there wasn't very many. It was far in between. So great first start there. Danielle Hunter missed him last year. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year, but gets a sack on play 1. After that sack, they see the team come out. They got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gesicki also. They dump it off to their running back. Quick stop there by Anthony Barr. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation. Very often in these situations in the past, you've seen the Vikings come out with that double A gap look there. Looks like that will continue here. Got McCourty who's coming down. And they end up bringing him rather than Harrison Smith. Pierce drops back, their big defensive tackle, and he ends up getting the stop there on the receiver. 4th and 9. They have to punt. Let's see if Saunders and the offense can come back out and provide the same kind of intensity that they did in the first drive. Want to make sure that consistency is key here and consistent with the Vikings. There's the first real play by DJ Chark there, underneath pass. Looks like they come out back in that same formation. They got 3 receivers to the left, tight end to the right, and it's a run play. Dalvin Cook breaks through a couple tackles. Great run from him. See, this seems like a whole different team compared to the second team, the second squad that comes out in the later in the game. Will be coming out after the first half is over. That last game, they just did not end very well. But so far, the first team looks great here. Saunders able to find Jefferson down to the 3. This team looks a lot better. Saunders is coming out here, giving it a little bit more of a mobile style of game than Cousins brought. Their speed honestly isn't that far apart, but Saunders has just included it a bit more in his style of game. And Dalvin punches it in, bringing some swagger back as he sips some tea, I guess, all fancy. Takes a bow. We'll take it. The crowd is excited, especially with football back here, and so far in this game, winning football. Now here is something a bit different than what you saw last year. Typically, you only really saw the double A-gap look in third down situations, 3rd and long. We come out 1st down with that formation. Dancer gets a nice pass breakup there. Just want to make sure we are forcing the offenses that go against this defense to really have to second guess all of their decisions so that they don't really know what's happening. We got Tua running all the way to the sideline, gets lit up by Anthony Barr, but is still a 1st down, gain of 13 on the play. Looked very similar to what we ended up doing with Mund at the end of last week's game, where he would just run because he couldn't really complete passes very well, and that looked very similar there with Tua. Nice catch there for Miami, a one-handed snag. Is that Odell? Yep, Odell Beckham Jr. now playing for Miami, wearing number 10. That just looks strange. And they get a nice swing pass out to their running back. We were caught there in man coverage. Kendricks was the man to be covering the running back there, but such a quick route like that, Kendricks on the opposite side, makes it a little bit difficult to get there in time. Oh, and Kendricks misses the tackle there, went for the big hit. Barr's there to wrap him up. Need to make sure that if we're taking chances for hits like that, we're getting those hits. Otherwise, it's easy 1st downs for our competition. They brought Harrison down, and that is exactly where Miami goes. Gets number 11, Palmer, there on the quick, or Parker there on the quick route. Goal line situation. And just didn't have enough guys covering there to cover all the receivers. They were going for the run on that, but easy play there for Gesicki. Following the touchdown and extra point by Miami, the game is now 14-17. We had a good return by Nwangwu. Vikings come out spread, get a quick slant route there to Thielen. And it looks like Miami's even coming out as well with that double A gap look here. We want to make sure that when teams do that, we want to make sure that they're paying, because we invented that here, and we're going to make sure that we have the right plays dialed up to make the teams pay for when they do that. Looks like coming out spread here. Safeties are towards the middle, but doesn't look like there's anyone open deep. Overthrown just slightly by Sanders and is picked off by Jones. He was looking for the tight end. I believe that was Irv Smith Jr. and was just a step or two too far out in front of him, who is under pressure, but you really like to make sure that he hits that play there. And at least Jefferson is maybe a bit further downfield. Maybe have Irv Smith run that route a little bit shorter. But now it's time for the defense to make a play. Barr with a big hit, but they've done that quick halfback swing route several times, and we need to make sure that on a play like that, we're able to force that incompletion. That should not be a completion, especially with it being such a quick throw to a very busy part of the field. Nice stop there by Pierce. Gets off the block, gets the tackle for a loss of 1. We need to make sure that our defensive tackles are forcing run stops like that. Coming out again in that double A gap look there. Quick pressure by Danielle Hunter, but Poole is beaten off the snap by Waddle, and it's just an easy flick of the wrist. Touchdown. 49 yards for Miami to help tie this game up, barring a miss from this extra point. So we haven't seen too much of the double A gap, or not double A gap, the twin tight ends look here so far in this game. We know the Vikings have two really good young tight ends. You want to make sure that they are making plays out there. Looks like Saunders is going to go for his first run, gain of 6 on that play. They went for, again, that slant routes that have been very helpful, very successful for him so far this preseason, but there wasn't much there. Run there, but a good edge play by their outside linebacker. Only forces a gain of a couple. Coming out 3rd and 2. They only have 3 linemen, and it looks like there is a play that's being checked there. Wonder if they're going to change that to be a handoff. Dalvin Cook. It is. He ends up powering through. They ended up not getting any blockers there on Baker, number 55 for Miami, but he was able to power through and get that first down. Now coming out spread here, they got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. This isn't very common of what they used to do last year. Looks like a bit underthrown. You got 3 corners, 3 defensive backs end up getting to that ball. Thielen ends up knocking it away. Not a smart play there by Saunders. And after that play, they go back to the run. Good tackle there by the safety. Dalvin tried to make him miss, but they end up still getting that first down. Now 3rd and short, they're coming out in a power formation here. Strong right. And they hand it off to C.J. Ham, and he powers for 5 yards. Gets that first down. And it looks like it's going to be a play-action pass here. It's a quick dump off to C.J. Ham with there being pressure applied. I believe that was by Baker. Ends up being an incomplete pass in the 2-minute warning. Following the 2-minute warning, they come back out, 2 receivers to the left. Dalvin Cook also offset to the left as well. Going back to those slant routes. And that ends up being a bit of a wild pass there as he got hit as he released that pass. They stick with the same formation. Looks like he is making a slight adjustment as well. They have Thielen open in the middle. Ends up being a bit too high of a throw. Kind of cuts off his momentum, and it is now 4th and 4 from the 41. Young Hoku has been able to hit some kicks from this distance, but not too sure if that's something that they would be looking at doing here, especially preseason. Teams do some crazy things here, and it does look like the offense is coming back out, and Nwangwu is out at the receiver spot. He's actually coming in motion right now, and they hand the ball off to him with his speed to the outside. He gets the first down, more and out of bounds to stop the clock. Come back out still in that 2 tight end set this time with Thielen out at that left or right receiver spot. Dump it off to Cook, and he gets out of bounds after a gain of 6. So there is a bit of talk between the tight ends here on who's going to end up being the starter. Right now they have Irv Smith on the right and Flanagan, their rookie, on the left. And many are wondering, as to a great play by Xavier Howard to knock that pass away, who's going to end up taking that number 1 spot, if it's going to be Irv Smith or if it's going to be the rookie Flanagan. They're very similar. They're a very well-balanced tight end, both of them. They both have blocking ability as well as receiving ability. And speaking of receiving ability, Adam Thielen, the homegrown talent here in the end zone. Again, slant route as he is doing his best impersonation of Justin Jefferson there. Ends up getting wide open after crossing the field. Easy pass there for Saunders and a touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings. Following that touchdown pass from Saunders to Adam Thielen, looks like Miami comes out in a all spread. Another big missed tackle there. Rumbling, stumbling down to past midfield. Huge play to give up on first down. But what I was saying, the Vikings currently now have the lead 21-14. With plays like that, not sure how long that's going to last. Definitely need to see some better play over the middle. and good tackling by our corners. Decent tackle there by Verrett. Forced the guy out of bounds. Looks like they're coming out for another quick pass, and Waddle was just able to get enough separation from Kendricks. Kendricks had the inside kind of locked down, but that quick zig route back to the outside, and there was nothing Kendricks could do there. Now again, spread, going deep, Waddle across the mid, and somehow Tua is able to squeeze past the corners that we have over there and get a huge run on that play. The Vikings offense has seemed to have made an improvement, but the defense has had some very hit or miss drives so far. We would like to see someone go out there and make a play. Another sack maybe by Daniil or Wanham, or even an interception by one of the talented corners, safeties that we now have. We do get the sack there. They try to call a quick play there, but end up just taking the timeout, and will now settle for a field goal. Barring anything crazy here, a fake field goal or trick play, the Vikings will be taking the lead into half. The kick is up and good right down the middle. Make it a 21-17 lead for the Vikings going into halftime. We'll probably watch the first couple drives and then kind of go from there, see what we end up wanting to do, throw in some highlights, maybe focus on a couple players here and there, but decent stop there. You would like to have that only be a gain of 2 or 3, especially with all the players that we did have in that spot, but we will take a not first down. Another wide open receiver in the middle, a missed tackle, and a defensive end all the way downfield to help make that tackle in Robinson. But so far, this second team defense has really struggled in coverage. It's a part that the Vikings really need to work on, as they really only have Eric Kendricks as a cover linebacker. And then again, another wide open receiver. They had 3 of them down there with one safety set to cover them all. Luckily, they chose the route that didn't go into the end zone, but some interesting play calling happening, or lack of talent, that you are seeing here in the second group of the Vikings defense. And touchdown. Miami able to stretch that ball across the plane after the hit by, I believe that was Eric Wilson. After that first drive from Miami, Minnesota now trails 24-21. There really wasn't anything that defense could do there to stop anything. Adam Thielen's still out there playing. Looks like he wants to test out that ankle after an off-season where he had surgery to repair that ankle that he suffered an injury to a few weeks prior to the end of the season last year. Which would also give Mund a new target out there. Flanagan, great route run there. Creates a lot of separation. Mund floats the ball out. Great to see Flanagan and Mund making some plays early so far in this game. Got another rollout here. Awful pass. You had Thielen just streaking across the middle of the field. There was a safety there who could have made a play on that pass, but you would like to at least give such a legend a shot at getting that touchdown there. They have Osborne coming in motion here. They fake the handoff, give it to Madison, and there's a quick stuff there by one of the defensive linemen. On 3rd and long, they come out with 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Looks like they're going back to what they know best. And they held on to the pass too long there. You had some receivers breaking open, but just didn't have enough time to make that completion. Q comes out here to try to hit a long field goal, be a 55-yarder. And it's down the middle, no problem at all. A huge busted coverage there. Couldn't tell if that was by Dantzler or Metellus, but Shaheen wide open, just a yard or two from the end zone. Quick flick of the wrist, touchdown Miami. there is some work that needs to be done in the second team defense. Might be seeing some players cut, traded, or who knows what, but there's definitely going to be a shakeup there if this kind of play continues. Coming into their second drive here, they had a pretty good first drive. I believe they want to take some of the pressure off of Mund. They still have Alexander Madison in the game here, providing a solid running back for him to use, as well as some good receivers as well. Looks like Osborne out there. Olabisi Johnson back from last week where he left the game injured. He dumps it off there to Madison, who gets a good gain. I believe what we saw last week was the Vikings just throwing all they could at Mund to check to see what it is that he can do and what he can't do. And I bet they learned a bit from that game after seeing all the different turnovers that he tossed out there. And one thing we have not seen Miami do in this game is really play any sort of press on these receivers, which is partially good for the Vikings because a lot of their backup receivers don't have much release, but you would like to see the Vikings make a change there to get those receivers open, and that was a very nice catch there by Flanagan. Brings us into the start of the fourth quarter as well. Still come out here in that strong formation. They have Flanagan wide open going across the field, and Mund misses him. A bit disappointing there. Mund has shown pretty good accuracy on short throws, but medium and deep he has struggled. You see Alexander get a couple yards here, a few yards on that play. And they come back out, and what I would say is probably one of their more common formations. Got two receivers to the left, one to the right. And the lob pass there by Osborne misses. Wide open Osborne. Could have been a touchdown there. Really disappointing. You want to see that kind of accuracy there, especially from an NFL quarterback. And now they go deep to Osborne, who is held. That would have been a touchdown for sure. He wasn't able to extend, and that will give them a free first down all the way down to the 2-yard line. The Vikings got very lucky there, or maybe Miami did with the actual holding working. However, you never know with the refs if they're actually going to call those or not. Vikings got lucky with that, but you really want that to be a touchdown either way. They do come out in a power formation here. And what a play by the corner to come down, cover the underneath guy, and then drop back and get that pick by, I didn't even see who that was, but they had Flanagan open in the back corner of the end zone, and Jones there makes a fantastic play covering two guys and forces the turnover. Very disappointing, but is what you come to expect with Mund so far this preseason. Good hit there by Conley. Another huge hit by Conley. They bring the house, and he's waving bye-bye to that drive. 4th and 5. Out comes the punting team. Looks like they're playing Mund in quite a bit of under the center formations here. Didn't see a whole lot of that in the first game, but they do look like they're coming out with that in the second game. He's going to scramble away from the pressure, get about a gain of 7 on that play. As you see, he's making some adjustments as well. And I think that was Udo just got destroyed on that play. Should have been an easy first down. They would come out for 3rd and short, hand the ball off to C.J. Ham, and he powers through for a first down. And you do see Miami coming out here in a double A gap look here. Mund's making a few adjustments, and he barely gets that pass off, but that hit does alter the course of the ball, and it does hit the ground. You could tell the kind of short depth here that we have in the receiving core as Justin Jefferson comes into the game late in the 4th quarter, makes the play on 3rd and long to continue this drive for the Minnesota Vikings. And do come out with 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, tight end just off the line as well to that left-hand side. And don't know what happened there by Madison. He might have been being held by that defensive tackle that was being blocked, but it looked like he had all the room to run but just did not go anywhere. Which brings us now to the 2-minute warning. You really want to see Mund and the second team offense make a play here. They weren't able to do so last week to continue the success or comeback that they were trying to do. I would like to see them make a play here. And again, just falls short. Great pick there. I believe that was by Williams. And 3rd down and 13, under 30 seconds left. This game is basically over. You really wouldn't think Miami would punt the ball after taking the knee here with only 20 seconds left. So this game is a wrap for the Minnesota Vikings. Welcome to the 3rd and last preseason game. This one against the Washington football team. Probably won't be catching too much of this game, as most of it will be by the second team that just has struggled so much this preseason. We'll see a bit of Saunders and the first team, and then kind of just go from there, show a bit of highlights here and there, but definitely just want to see what Saunders is able to do here to wrap up this preseason, and for him, a fairly successful preseason. They come out for the first play in the ace formation. Looks like they're going back to those slant routes that they run so much. Have brought pretty good success for him as well. Saunders scrambles for a gain of 6. Again, probably won't see too much of the first team here. Definitely not past the first quarter. Might not even make it for the full first quarter. Might just be for a drive or two. Kind of see what falls through. Dalvin up the middle, 11 yards. Again, the first team has looked really good, especially the offense so far during the preseason. It's the first team defense who struggled a little bit, and both of the second team offense and defense have definitely had their issues. Elam gets a good drag route there. Simple completion. We'll see here again our draft, again minus one guy, which was our center, Smith. And good news on his injury update is that it looks like he is progressing quicker than expected, so he should be back for week 1 of the regular season. Not sure he's going to be starting, especially after missing much of preseason, but gives the Vikings a solid option if they need to spell a guy, or if maybe one of the guys just isn't doing it. There's been a lot of talk about him taking over for both Cleveland and Bradbury, so that gives them a solid option if they need to do that. Again, another slant route there. This one to Jefferson. Saunders has so far played those slant routes very well. Washington comes out in that double A-gap look here. Looks like they drop most of them back and is overthrown to Thielen. Bit disappointing there, especially since that probably will end up being his one and only drive in this game. Picked off by Xavier Woods, the ex-Viking, ex-Cowboy as well. Bit of a disappointing end to the preseason, most likely for him. Let's hope the defense can make something happen here. Give him one more shot. There's a great cutback there to go in between the tight end and tackle. It's a bit of a over pursuit there by the Vikings. And the Vikings are rocking the alternative throwback unis. Wanted to make sure everyone got a chance to wear these, even those that won't be continuing on with the team. Looks like the Vikings are coming out with a run-stop formation here. Looks like it is going to be a pass. Wilson was almost to the quarterback, but McLaurin just got away from Poole, who's able to dive, trip him up, make the stop, keep it from being a touchdown, but so close to being a good play, but so far. Come back out, looks again more like a run. Poole makes the play in the backfield. Let's flex on them, give a little bit of some excitement and hype back to the side after giving up such a long pass on the blown coverage. Looks like Washington likes to play a bit of a tight formation here. That's a play you hope that Kendricks would force the incompletion on, but a quick stop is good nonetheless. Again, coming out in this double A-gap look here. Washington spreading the field a bit, and there's just the running back out of the backfield wide open. No one covering the flat there, or even just covering a little bit lower down. Of course, with the spread formation that they came out in, understandable of why Kendricks was a little bit deeper on that play, but you'd really hope they would be able to see that and make the play quick. They're able to make a better play on this one, only a gain of 1. Hendricks gets the stop, but we need to make those plays on 3rd down rather than 1st down. Come out again, another passing form, and the underneath guy wide open. Really want them to play that a little bit tighter, force that incompletion, bring up 3rd and short. Again, going with a tight formation here, and then wide open receiver. I believe that was on Verrett there. Again with the spread, we're in the double A gap look here, but the end of the quarter comes before the play is snapped. With the end of that quarter there, you're going to start seeing some other guys coming in. Don't want to have any of our starters getting injured. We will keep them out for the rest of this drive, so it looks the same with Washington. And that was so close to a touchdown, but they were able to get the stop just in front of the goal line. Then they go for the run, and it ends up being a touchdown. McCourty couldn't get the stop in time. He laid the hit, but Gibson extends past the goal line. Following that touchdown and extra point, the teams have been switched up a little bit. Most of the first and second team being switched out there. Saunders will stay in for one more drive. Want to see what he's able to do. Would hate to have his first preseason end with a turnover. So Saunders will come out here. Most of the line has stayed the same. Receivers have changed up, and running back has changed up. And starting O-line just got destroyed there, and then Nwangwu tossed to the side like a rag doll. They do come out still in that spread form. They do find Olabisi Johnson, open for a quick dump off there, but that does still bring up a 3rd and 7. You do see the Vikings come out switching the side of field that they're going to be lining up on. And it looks like Saunders will end his preseason with a turnover and at least a tackle. Coming out in a poor situation to start for the defense, hoping to see that they could at least force a field goal try here. Instead, it's going to be touchdown after one play. Poor coverage there by the safety, left McLaurin wide open. Mond now takes the field for the Vikings. Saunders is done for the preseason. Don't need to have any surprise injuries happen or anything like that. We'll get him out. Another overthrown pass there, but a safely overthrown pass by Mund. But we will probably see the rest of the way for this game. It's just throwing in some highlights here or there. We haven't seen very good play here from the second team offense or defense in that matter. Picked off Cameron Dantzler. It was 3rd and 9. They ran a slant route, and Dantzler was just sitting in the right spot, the right time. It does look like they're coming out in a similar formation to what Washington has been running most of the day. We're going to go ahead and finish off the last 2 minutes here of this drive. Hopefully, we'll get into the end zone and give a little bit of some momentum to the team before the start of the second half. Found Amir Smith-Marset again across the field. Clock is ticking. Don't need to be celebrating. We aren't Claypool over here. They come out now in a spread formation. Washington is in the double A gap look here. They don't bring the pressure from any standard form. Mond is hit while he throws, and that kind of jars the pass to kind of flop out of his hand, goes much short right into the hands of Landon Collins, and with that ends most of any chances the Vikings had at scoring before half. Following a huge pass interference play, the Vikings now have the ball at about the 35-yard line, just a little bit before the end of the first half, and they get a nice check down pass to Nwangwu out of bounds. 39 seconds left at their own 18. This has so far been the best chance that the Vikings have had all game at scoring. And it looks like they have Flanagan in the back of the end zone, but they say he did not complete the catch before stepping out. Huge missed opportunity there. But there's still enough time to make a play here. They have subtle chances here and there, but they're just not quite able to find that connection. And Munn tosses it up. Flanagan had it, but drops it before he comes down. In this spot here, there's no reason not to go for it. Looks like they're going to come out in a similar formation here. Going to have 4 receiving options out. They go deep to Flanagan again. This time he had it again a third time, but cannot complete the catch as he goes down. That will be a turnover on downs in the end of the first half. All right, we're jumping back in here about midway through the third here. Hasn't been anything to really talk about yet. Basically everything looks like that. There's a sliver of hope and then just nothing works at the end here. We're going to go through a drive here with the offense, see if we're able to capitalize on anything and finally get on the board. Nice break tackle there by Nwangwu. Gets a first down. They're going to actually run a quick play here after that. Try to capitalize on the success. Going deep here to Osborne. One-on-one, always like to take those chances. So no blocking there, and Brian O'Neill was actually injured on that play, which could end up having huge consequences onto the regular season. Let's throw in a little bit of some defensive highlights, or hopefully highlights. We have a 3rd and long here. Looks like Washington's about checked out of this game. They're just running it. But there is at least a stop here to show you the second team defense can make some stops. In this second half, they've done fairly well against the run, actually. Lynch has gotten in a bit more and has made some more run stops. But from an overall standpoint, a bit disappointed in this second team on both sides of the ball. And we'll take a look after this week when teams have designated guys for practice squad and see if there's some talent out there that we could steal. And just like that, this game here comes to an end. The Vikings did nothing. The second team offense, defense couldn't do anything out there. Ends up putting up a goose egg, 24-0 to the Washington football team. We will definitely be taking a look at who's left in free agency, even take a look at teams' practice squads and see if there's a way we could build up the backups on this team to have a bit more talent than what we saw here in the preseason. So there unfortunately wasn't really anyone in free agency that fit what we needed as well as cap space. So we'll leave that for now. If there's injuries, we will revisit it. But we will finish off with scouting, setting scouts that match our needs as well as the strength of the draft class itself. So we'll run through this, talk a little bit about what kind of positions we need, where we would like to address, and also what the just overall of this draft really has. So if we're looking at national, we have strengths of wide receiver, quarterback, and halfback. We really don't need any of those. We're pretty set there. Weaknesses is going to be center, right tackle, and free safety. Now, we could use a free safety. We could always use help along the O-line. But we need to take a look at corners, middle linebackers, or just linebackers, and defense and offensive line. At least in those spots, if there aren't starters, we could build a lot of a more robust depth, better talent in our depth. As we saw in the preseason, it was not very good. So that's what we're going to start with, and I'm going to hire scouts to fill those needs. So we got them all hired and assigned for our national scout. We're going to have a focus on the guard positions. That's going to be Alan Faneka. At middle linebacker, he'll be scouting in the northeast as Salvador Ortega. Left and right end and central as Lulu Hernandez. Safeties are going to be in the west with Rodney Harrison, and then cornerbacks in the southeast as Armando Herrera. And with all that set there, our scouting is ready for the season. We'll update you along the way. Not going to have too much here in terms of scouting because there's really not a whole lot to do week to week. But we will be back in the next episode to face off against the Green Bay Packers. So make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing to continue along here as we rebuild these Minnesota Vikings and make them a dominant force here in the NFL.